We felt that this was probably one of the best examples of the residential projects, and there were quite a few submittals in this category. And in our view, it was a very skillful handling of materials, particularly the wood materials used in the building, and once again, very fine and elegant detailing.
There were a lot of residential projects, and that one seemed to be the most finely crafted and clearest concept. It seems very bold on the one hand, but it's discreet in the neighborhood, and it has a very soft presence, and it's very well built on the green front, the environmental front.
The Wolfe Den is an urban residence. It is a residence that's sort of compacted and stacked and configured in such a way that it is using its site very efficiently. It's occupying space in a very efficient way, but at the same time making a place that doesn't feel cramped by any means. It felt like a place that you could live. It had a clarity to the organization of spaces that was really nice. It felt sculptural, and it had a sort of simplicity to it, and at the same time a lot of richness to the materials and to the way those materials were used. So it was an interesting combination because we looked at a lot of residences, and it was an interesting combination of richness and clarity, and we weren't always seeing that kind of clarity that we saw so beautifully in this piece.
That one just is a very good idea, and it's the plans are very good, the daylighting is very good, its presence on the street is the proportions and everything is just a very finely built piece of architecture. Elements
sort of had it all working. It was organized beautifully, the plan was beautiful, the architecture was beautiful. You could imagine living in those spaces. Again, it had a sort of strength of clarity in the design. It had a singularity to the design. It made a place. It made a series of places. Beautiful use of material, proportion, very urban again, and addressed the street in a really good way. So that this is the kind of project you want infilling our cities and making our cities a place of life and work and play.
The parti of this particular design was very clear, and we appreciated that. And then how that strong idea was carried through in the actual configuration of the spaces and the articulation of the forms and the detailing, very, very thorough, very clean.
Well, as a landscape architect, who could resist? It was all about the garden as much as it was about the house. This beautiful glass pavilion situated in this garden and done just in such a restrained and such a beautiful way. The spaces inside looked like a fabulous place to be, and then the garden looked like a fabulous place to be looking back at the house. So the whole piece, from street to wall to garden to glass pavilion, was all working together in a really, really beautiful way. And again, we saw lots of residential work, and this was one of those that just rose to the top because it was so straightforward and at the same time layered with so much.
This was a space we could all imagine living in, and another good example of how the landscape and the building can and should feed off of each other, and together really provide a very compelling architectural solution.
It's again just a very discreet little soft touch in an otherwise grandiose neighborhood, and I think it's a very beautiful and finely crafted little jewel box in the back in this garden. It's very, very well done. I'd like to have it myself.